Okay, hello everyone. This is Nikol in YouTube channel. My name is Gazi Sabishev, and now we're launching a new English language podcast about the international politics and inside politics of Kazakhstan Republic. Don't bother to give me an advice about my English. My English, of course, not perfect, but whose is nowadays. So this English language political podcast from Astana is specified. I mean, who will be our audience right now, since now till in the future, and of course it will be those who is interested in improving their English skills. Let's make this podcast together. Write some comments in the comment section. And for those who needs more freedom of speech in YouTube, because we understand that in nowadays Kazakhstan we have a lot of pressure from Russian-speaking and Kazakh-speaking citizens, and here most of them they don't speak English, and we will have a more freedom of speech here in discussing different issues here, and of course international audience that also wants to know something about Kazakhstan, wants to discuss stuff here in Kazakhstan, about Kazakhstan, what happens here and what's the position of our country on different topics. So that's it. We'll see. Comment in the comment section below what you think about the English language podcast here in our channel. Probably in the future we'll also do the Kazakh language podcast, but there is a problem. For example, my personal level of English and Kazakh language are almost the same, but you can speak in English with a lot of mistakes and still everyone would understand you, and just watch what are you talking about, not how. In Kazakh language situation is very different. You speak Kazakh making some mistake, and there's a lot of people who would comment, who would say that you're wrong, don't speak Kazakh like that, etc. So let's discuss some stuff, but before, please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and comment. Of course, it would be very important for us. If you're an international viewer or listener, I hope there will be such guys here in our channel. Let's discuss stuff. First news, it's this week our country, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan actually presented its position on Israeli-Palestine war. First, and there was two important topics there. First, Kazakhstan condemned terroristic attack. 1,200 people died, mostly civilians, of course. And to understand, and now they say that that Israel acts disproportionately, killing a lot of people in Gaza Strip, etc. But first of all, we need to understand what means 1,200 people for Israel. Let's make a proportion. For example, there are 10 million people, the population of Israel. If we multiply to the proportion of population of other big countries like United Kingdom, Russian Federation, or United States, for example, what if some terroristic organization killed about 8,000 people, 8,000 Brits in Britain, mostly civilians? What would Britain do? What if they killed 8,000 Britons, and then the backers of this terroristic organization goes to streets of London and supports this terroristic organization, supports its actions? What would Brits do? What would Brits demand from their government? How fast British government would destroy, imprison those who support, for example, Hamas, if Hamas killed 8,000 Brits in Britain. For United States, for example, we know that in 9/11 terroristic attack, about 3,000 people were killed in New York, and in this proportion right now, 1,200 people in Israel, it's almost like 50,000 people in United States. After terroristic attack in 9/11, United States invaded Afghanistan and killed several tens of thousands of people actually died in next 20 years in Afghanistan, and the very big part of those who were killed were civilians. And what would United States do with those who killed 50,000 Americans? Let's imagine some Gaza Strip or Mexico, for example. People from Mexico came, killed 50,000 people in the United States, and after that the government of Mexico says we don't know nothing about that. So let's first talk about what Washington does to Mexico. That all those oppression, all those economic and political pressure, and after that we'll talk about the terroristic attack. So I'm sure that the U.S. would destroy any country in the world if the citizens of this country killed 50,000 Americans. So that's the psychological situation in the heads of Israelis right now, and a lot of people in live in Western media and also in Kazakhstan plays the whataboutism, what about game. They say that when you say we need to condemn terroristic attack, and they say, what about the decades of oppression from Israel to Gaza? Okay, if you say so, let's discuss that. So you imply that this terroristic attack, when 1,200 civilians were killed in Israel by Hamas fighters, that was an answer from the Palestinian side to Israel that oppressed Palestinian people. Is that so? So it was like revenge action. It was like military action against the regime of Israel. So if that's so, if this is the next step of Palestinian people to support the idea of its independence, it means it really means the war between Israel state and Palestinian people. So if the terroristic attack of Hamas against Israel is justified in this way, probably the attack of Israel against Palestinian people right now probably also can be justified. Is that so? No, of course not. This collective responsibility of Palestinian people is not justified, and of course Israel shouldn't kill thousands of Palestinians right now, but also on the first place we should condemn terroristic attack. Terrorism is not a tool to solve political issues, and this is the most important principle we should defend right now. So our Minister of Foreign Affairs condemned terroristic attack, saying that nothing can justify the more than 1,000 victims of this terroristic attack. And well, obviously a lot of our partners such as Moscow never condemned in that way. So our position, the position of Kazakhstan Republic, is more effective, more stronger, and according to international humanitarian values, no doubt in that. But the second demand from Kazakhstan side to Israel is not demand, but such a word that Israel should refrain from disproportionate use of force. Well, of course, we all understand that the people of Palestine, that they are truly, in a true sense, are hostages of Hamas. They are hostages. They do understand that if they would try to fight for their freedom, if they would say, if someone would go to the city of Gaza and try to say that it's not appropriate to attack Israel because it's very dangerous, he would be killed in a matter of a few minutes. We all know that. So you're killing Israel right now, trying to kill terrorists, also killing hundreds of civilians who are really hostages. Israel says that they need to save Israeli hostages, but at the same time killing Palestinian hostages who are hostages to Hamas. Well, that's a very complex situation. So we do understand the goals of Israeli government and the army of Israel right now. They want to on the first place to destroy the infrastructure of Hamas, but on the second place they want to destroy the base of support of Hamas. I mean, scaring Palestinian people and forcing them to fight Hamas also, because well, if you have a choice, you would be forced to say to Hamas, we don't want to support you because of your action we're being killed. So that's the second point. But truly, I don't understand what is the proportionate response, and very frequently asked question right now in the world media: what is the proportionate response? I don't know. 1,200 Israelis were killed. It's a big tragedy, but if how many Palestinians should die for Israel to say enough is enough, we're stopping this military operation, this rocket bombing of Gaza Strip, because it's enough? Well, I don't know. So what to do? There's no simple answer, of course, but we need to understand that the action of Israeli army is absolutely understandable, especially if this is a computer game, strategy game like Civilization or Rome Total War or etc. Empire, Age of Empire, etc. But and this collateral damage is not important in the context of fighting between the huge political forces, but here, in this situation, the collateral damage are the real people, real residents of Gaza Strip. They shouldn't die, and they're innocent. And probably, even if, for example, not 1 to 2%, but 50% of them are truly supports the terroristic attack of Gaza, other half is innocent. And you know this ancient principle that it is better to let free 9 murderers than imprison 1 innocent citizen. So so those half which is innocent shouldn't suffer from the rocket bombing from Israel. And what to do? We don't understand that, of course. So we'll see. The position of our state, of our Minister of Foreign Affairs, is pretty clear. So we'll see. Terrorism is very, very bad thing, but collective responsibility, destroying the civil infrastructure, is also not good. So world is not white and black. We should be more flexible in solving the situation. But psychologically, of course, I understand the action of Israeli. It doesn't mean that I would do the same, but still, well, psychologically it's understandable. 1,200 civilians killed by terrorists. It's very scary, and it impacts your mind and worldview, no doubt in that. Second point is that Tokayev paid a visit this week to China to participate Belt and Road Summit in Beijing. And interesting stuff that President Xi, who is the leader of nowadays China, again. It's not the second, not the third, probably fourth or fifth time in the last 3 to 4 years, confirms the guarantee to Kazakhstan sovereignty and territorial integrity. Now, and thank you very much, President Xi, but I have 2 questions. First of them, is it such an important question? Is there some threats we don't know about? Why every time President Xi says that China is a guarantor of Kazakhstan sovereignty? Does it mean that China knows something, that someone threatens our sovereignty and territorial integrity? Does China signals to someone that please don't attack Kazakhstan? It's a very interesting question for me. So who is the final address of those signals? Secondly, does this mean that China probably, when China claims that it supports our Kazakhstan's sovereignty, does it mean that China only now, on this historical period, supports Kazakhstani sovereignty, meaning that while we have a good diplomatic and economic relationship, we support you, but if you defect, if you would try to cooperate with West, with China's enemies more than with us, then we would not support your sovereignty and territorial integrity, and you're in a big trouble. Does this mean this stuff? Well, I don't know. And if something happens, how exactly China would support Kazakhstan? Would it send the troops, ground troops, to fight the invading enemy? Or would China impose economic sanctions against the power that tries to attack Kazakhstan's sovereignty? Well, it's interesting. So, do we need to have the military bases of China in the territory of Kazakhstan? I don't know. Probably it's a very, very, very interesting question. No doubt in that. How China is, when China just speaks, but practically, if something happens, how exactly China would support Kazakhstan? Well, and China invests a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars to Kazakhstani economy. Well, why so? We understand that every major power is interested in having a belt of good economic partners around its borders. For example, we know that the very important factor of success for Germany is that we have Belgium, Netherlands, France, Czech Republic, Austria, Poland, and Denmark around Germany. And for Germany, it's very, very beneficial because those are the markets for the German goods, and those are also the sources of human resource, of labor force for German economy. And also for China right now, the fact of the presence of South Korea, Vietnam, and Japan is also beneficial, and for United States, the presence of Canada on the north and respectively stable Mexico is also the factor of the stability for its economy. So China is interested in a perspective that Kazakhstan would be a rich and politically stable country that might send some goods like meat and food and grain and oil and gas, etc., and people to work in China. So if Kazakhstan is weak, it's not as good because it would be unstable. There are some trade routes via Kazakhstan to Europe, and if political instability destroys everything, it destroys trade routes and railways, and it would be very bad for China. So now I do believe that China is interested in the economical success of Kazakhstan. But also, I think that China is interested in diplomatic control over the foreign policy of Kazakhstan, and we have a lot of examples when, for example, China, in United Nations, for example, Astana votes not like Moscow but like a Beijing. So it also means something. And I think that the most important thing that China supports and helps us to industrialize our economy. A deeper production chain should be built in our economy. It means taxes, it means workplaces, it means salaries for our citizens, and it means the evolution and development of our economy, because we shouldn't be just a source of oil and metals. So, but our passionate community right now fights against China because it doesn't want, it afraid of those transfer of production from China to Kazakhstan, but it doesn't actually mean that those dirty production would be destroyed in China and transferred here, and exactly those productions would be built in Kazakhstan. No, China gives technology, money, and engineers, and they come here and they build the brand new production here in Kazakhstan. And there are some laws against ecological. I mean, there there are some ecological standards implemented in our laws, so they would consider that, and they would take it to their attention and make the new production according to our laws. So we should do that, no doubt in that. And we should use the factor of China right now to industrialize. We already see how China created its automobile, the production, and it's very active, and it's I mean, very nice, interesting, and it has a huge, big future. We also should follow this example if we want to survive in 21st century. And the third point, third question on our agenda is Commonwealth of Independent States. The summit was on last week in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, and interesting stuff. Armenia is a part of, say, CIS, and Azerbaijan is not a part of this organization, but still Prime Minister Pashinyan didn't come there to Bishkek, and President Aliyev was in a status of observer there. So does it mean that there would be a big exchange, that Armenia leaves Eurasian structures and Azerbaijan comes on the place of Armenia? That would be, well, we should be cynical. Of course, we support and respect Armenia, but the true balance of power means that Azerbaijan, on the first place, is much stronger than Armenia: population, oil, GDP, production, etc., and geographical position. And firstly, and secondly, despite being in one organization, still Baku and Azerbaijan is much closer to not just only Turkic states like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan, but also for Russia itself. So if it would be better if both states, if Azerbaijan joins CIS and both countries works, functions inside of this organization, very beneficial for us. More players there are, less influence has Russia. Less influence Russia has, and it means that we're all more flexible in solving different problems lying on our way. But well, we'll see. I think the best way for Kazakhstan, the best future, is to our partners, to our brotherly nations like Uzbekistan and Azerbaijan joins the Eurasian Union and probably military treaty, and there is the national passion inside Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Azerbaijan, and together, three nations, we would be able to, to implement our ideas in the functioning of those organizations. That would be better for everyone right now. And of course, Azerbaijan, well, 2-3 years ago, many people said that Turkey is a main partner for Azerbaijan, two states, one nation, like that. But still, I mean that every state, every nation, political nation has the instinct of independence, and I'm sure that Azerbaijan doesn't want to become a part of the big Turkey. Like we know that Moldova wants to join Romania, but Azerbaijan, I'm sure it doesn't want to become a part of Turkey. It wants to save its independence. In a strategic interest of Azerbaijan to stay independent and develop the cooperation with different countries, not just with Turkey, but also with Kazakhstan, Russia, and others. So I'm sure that Azerbaijan is able to join the CIS and Eurasian Union. Probably in the future, we'll see if it's beneficial enough for them. They would join. It would be very nice for us. So that's it for now. It's we launched our English language streams here in our channel, Nico Roltai. Please write in the comment section below what you think about that. Is it interesting? Is it beneficial? Do you want to listen such kind of podcasts, comment in English language if you want, in Kazakh and Russian, of course. In the future we'll do it not just in English, also in Russian and Kazakh, if my level is good enough for those who wants to listen in Kazakh language. But still, international podcast of Kazakhstan. Subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and comment. We'll see how it goes in the future. Thank you very much. Goodbye.